Hey, welcome to another episode of Legion Elite Motorsports. I'm your host, Isaiah. And on today's episode, I found a problem on my car. So let's see what I need to do to kind of fix it and possibly upgrade it. So let's dive in. Okay, so I actually changed the oil on this car. Everything was looking great. And I went to go start it up, making sure I'm checking for oil leaks, and there's no oil leaks normally, but today, for some weird reason, we get an oil leak, and let me show you exactly where it's at. So I was expecting it to be some of the mayhem down here, maybe something from here or something like that, but come to find out, it's actually from here, dripping down onto the power steering pump and finding its way to the floor. So instead of replacing maybe a line or so, anything like that, I'm actually going to, see. Yep. So I'm actually going to replace both of these lines. Okay, so replacing both of those lines, and those lines go to, you see here, goes to the oil cooler. So these are tried and true, tested, and they work excellent. But I was thinking, instead of getting the steel braided line upgrade, I think, geez, I forget who sells it. It might be MK1 that sells the upgraded lines. Instead of just replacing the lines to something that'll last, you know, a little bit longer, I was thinking about changing everything, you know. So everything would include the fittings there, the lines, and the oil cooler. So this oil cooler, if you count the rows, it's got 9 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I was thinking about doing is finding something this size but with a better cooling capacity, because I have actually a bigger plan in the future, and it's going to be needed. So let me show you what I got and why. So what we're looking at here is a 25 row oil cooler, 10AN fittings, and this is a little bit more of a newer style oil cooler as opposed to the one that's on the car currently. And you can see here in the fins, the design of the fins to take in as much air as possible. So all the way around, this is going to be a better cooling for what I plan on doing with this car specifically. So trying to touch every basin to make sure that she's going to be 100%. So what we're going to do is we're going to start taking stuff out. So let me show you one of the tools I have specifically for taking out the oil cooler lines on the factory unit. It has the fittings up top for you to take off, and it's this one here, which I believe to be a 24 millimeter deep socket. I just popped this onto an impact gun, and it takes things loose pretty quick. So let's get started with that. So with an extension and all of that, slide it over here. We're gonna bust these loose, and then we're gonna take the lines and we're going to take them out slowly. But also, to get it out, we're gonna take off this header panel So 2 10s here. There's gonna be one there, but mine broke a long time ago. And actually, I'm gonna see if I can extract that now. 10 millimeter there. You have to take out your grill here, and you're gonna find a set of 10 millimeter bolts along this, behind it. One here, one there, but you know, of course, closer. And your header panel comes out. Okay, and as you can see, this one needs to come off. This one needs to come off. It's the same for both sides. And once that's done, this header panel will come off. Okay, so with the header panel off, it gives you a lot more access to the oil cooler. And in the midst of overlooking a couple things, I see a huge pinch and problem. So, good thing we're going through this so we don't have to deal with any of the repercussions from having a backed up oil cooler. So, alright, so basically we got some, 10 millimeter up top here. We're going to end up keeping that mounting bracket, but we're going to take the 2 10s. I think these are probably either 10s or 12s. Nope, they're 10s. So we're going to take those off. And then normally there would be, you know, some 10s down here, but it's bent upwards for the intercooler. So, but for you guys, you take off the bottom, take off the top, and then you get rid of the oil cooler. So we're gonna start taking this loose and take it from there. Okay, so we got the bolts loose. You have a line here. This is for power steering, and it's just to flow, to cool down. I guess it doesn't need something extreme as a actual cooler, so they just put the lines in front here just to cool down, and that seems to do it. But that makes it extremely flexible. Shouldn't have any problems getting this out. And then boom, yeah, just take her out, and yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna pop this bad boy out, and I'll be back. Okay, and there we have it. The oil cooler is out. I want to see how long these lines are so I can get these custom made, just in steel braided. I'm thinking about using a direct 90 degree. We'll see. It's still all up in the air, but I definitely plan on getting this whole thing situated soon. So I'm gonna take these lines off and measure them out. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a link down in the description of what this is basically. This is a M16 1.5 thread pitch at the bottom, and this is a M10 fitting at the top. From here you can pretty much, you know, do whatever you like. Add a 45. This is for this area here. So this bolts right on. You want to keep the washer. If your washers are bad or what have you, or if you just want to replace them, you can definitely go to Ace or something like that and match them up, and you'll be good to go. So this is going to go for the distribution block right there. And then from here we can just tie in our lines. So again, gonna take that apart, measure it, but before I do, I'm gonna put these on, and then we're also going to see what the new oil cooler looks like in the old oil cooler spot. Okay, and with your 24 millimeter, you're going to spruce these up just a little bit. They are aluminum, don't go crazy, but yeah, they're in there. So from here on out, we're gonna do custom lines that are going to be probably 90 or 45 degree, just to give us the curves we need to get back through this hole at the bottom. Okay, focus, there we go. So to get through this hole at the bottom and then bring us back to home. All right, so we'll measure that in a bit. Let's test fit this oil cooler. Okay, first thoughts, all I could say is wow, that is a huge difference. That looks great. It's sitting right on top of the intercooler. 25 row. It's wider than stock, just all around better. So that's gonna be good. Yeah, that's gonna come out really nice. So yeah, so basically what I'm gonna do from here is I'm going to hard 90 off of both of the tops of these with 10 AN, and then straight plug, and then line straight to home. And that should be it. But we need to take the original lines off and measure them out. Okay, so first one, let's hook that there. About like 20 and a half. And then from here to here, like 21. This is just a rough measurement. We're gonna get it a little longer than normal just so we can tuck it away nicely, but yeah, this is gonna be pretty long. I'm gonna take the whole thing with me, but yeah. Ooh, yep. So that's a big difference from this one being almost 2 feet, and then this one being about a foot. So, okay. Yep, I'm gonna take this whole thing with us and see what they could do. So, let's go. Oops. Okay, so as you can see, there's a little bit of fragments in the oil cooler, and that's to be expected. It is 30 plus years old, and throughout the motors, it's never been turned upside down and emptied out. So that's pretty normal. But because it's been shaken up, the particles shook loose, and yeah, this is what you get. But no concern to me, the oil cooler is not going back in. I'm gonna flush it out and it'll be good to go. Now, if you could see in there, which for some weird reason it won't focus inside the bottle, but you'll see there's a lot of dirty black specks. All of that stuff has been rustled up from the bottom of this oil cooler. Now I guarantee you, whatever Starion or any kind of car you're driving, that's normal. And I guarantee if you take yours out and clean it, you'll see you'll have the same thing in there. But yeah, another reason why to change it, I would assume, especially if you can't get all of the particles out. But this one will be cleaned on the inside, and it should be good to go. Okay, so after a quick drive to my favorite place, we got the new lines made, as you can see. And I got them a little longer than normal, just to give a little slack where it's needed. But yeah, it's pretty much ready to put in. Also, I buttoned up all of the little things to see exactly how she's gonna sit. But yep, so we're gonna put the lines on there, run it through the hole, come to our new 10 ANs, and that is it. Gonna make sure we top off the oil, everything we lost in the original oil cooler, and we should be good to go from there. Okay, there she is all put together. So let's start from here. So these are our new lines coming out there, hooking this way. All right, and then coming straight through here, and we got the hot and cold. One comes in hot, other one comes out cold. I actually had to move the direction of this one to go under the latch, which is actually resting on top of the third fan there. And the oil cooler is like a scooch too tall, so I actually went with the tilt. So it's actually in front of the intercooler on top of the bash bar. So it has like a nice tilt, which also directs the air when it goes into the oil cooler to come directly towards the fan to blow everything that way. So it's gonna work out perfectly. If you're looking for a link of this actual oil cooler, I'll send a link in the description down below, and also probably send a link of the shorter one. This one's 25 row. I think they have a 20 row, which would save additional space so you can have everything cross over like factory. But this setup doesn't bother me at all. Actually, it's going to cool a lot better than the factory one, so I'm looking forward to that. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna check for any oil leaks. So I'm going to crank this car up and see what we got. Okay, so we cranked it up for a second. Everything here looks perfect, but here I need to tighten these up a little bit more, both sides, and try again. All right. There we go. All sealed. A little bit of cleanup to do. We're looking great. But it's fine. All right, I think that's a wrap. And with that being said, we're gonna call it an episode there. I will definitely leave some links in the description down below for you guys if you're interested in it. But until then, remember, knowledge is power, and I will see you guys next episode.